Good morning reception, it's Mrs Roberts here for this week's maths lesson. Today is our first maths lesson, thinking again about some number and some shape work. I'm going to share my screen with you now so that we can get started. We're going to start today's lesson by thinking about shapes. I'm going to describe a shape to you and I want you to see if you can guess what it is. Here you go, here's the first shape. I'm thinking of a flat 2D shape. My shape doesn't have any corners, but it does have one curved side that goes all the way around. What do you think my shape is? Yes, that's right. My shape is a circle. It doesn't have any corners and it just has one curved side that goes all the way around. Let's have a look at the next shape. Can you guess my shape? This is another flat shape. It has 4 sides. 2 of the sides are long sides and 2 of the sides are short sides. It also has 4 pointy corners. Can you guess what it is? Yes, it's a little bit tricky, but you're right. It's a rectangle. It has 4 pointy corners, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And it has 2 long sides and it has 2 short sides. Well done. Now we're going to get started with today's learning. Today we're going to see if we can recognise that numbers can be made up in different ways. When we talk about this, we're talking about composition. That just means how a number is made up. We're also going to think about number bonds. That means 2 numbers that can be added together to make a total. Let's take a look. All numbers are made up of smaller numbers. This is the number 3, but you can see that it can be made up in different ways. We have 3 cubes here, 1 red one, 1 blue one and 1 green one. But altogether there are still 3. In this picture I have some counters. 2 of my counters are blue and 1 of my counters is yellow. But altogether I still have 3 counters. 1, 2, 3. Over here I have 3 buttons. All of my buttons are pink heart-shaped buttons. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 of the same buttons. Each of my groups is made up of 3, but it's made up in different ways. Here I have 3 different coloured cubes. Here I have 2 counters that are blue and 1 counter that is yellow. And here I have 3 buttons that are pink heart-shaped buttons. 3 in each group, but just made up in different ways. Today, we're going to find all the different ways that we can make the number 5. I'm going to have a turn first, and I'm going to look at my picture. Let's have a look at the frogs. Altogether, I have 5 frogs, but some of my frogs are in the pond and some of them are on the log. How many frogs are in the pond? Let me count. 1, 2. I have 2 frogs in the pond. How many frogs are on the log? Let me count. 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 frogs on the log and 2 frogs in the pond. Altogether, that makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if I can show this on my 5s frame using my counters. I have 3 frogs on the log, so I'm going to use 1, 2, 3 red counters. And I have 2 frogs in the pond. I'm going to use my yellow counters. 1, 2. 3 frogs and 2 frogs all together make 5 frogs. Now it's your turn. See if you can have a look at the ducks. How many ducks are in the pond and how many ducks are on the log? You should have some counters and a 5s frame at home so that you can have a try. See if you can show me how to represent the ducks in the pond and the ducks on the log using your 5s frame. Have a try now. Let's have a look and see how you got on. Let's have a look at how many ducks are in the pond. Shall we count them and find out? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 ducks in the pond. I'm going to use my red counters to show 4 ducks on the 5s frame. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many ducks are on the log? That's right, there's just 1. So I'm going to use the yellow counter to show the 1 duck. There are 4 ducks in the pond and 1 duck on the log. 4 ducks and 1 duck makes 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 red counters and 1 yellow counter all together makes 5. Well done, reception. Now it's my turn again. I'm going to have a look and see how many frogs are on the log and how many are in the pond this time. Let's have a look and see. I'm going to count the number of frogs on the log first. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 frogs on the log. I'm going to show this on my 5s frame using the red counters. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have put 1 counter in each box on the 5 frame to show how many frogs there are on my log. 4 frogs on the log, so there are 4 red counters on my 5s frame. How many frogs are in the pond? Just 1 frog in the pond this time. I'm going to use my yellow counter on the 5s frame to show my 1 frog in the pond. So I have 4 frogs on the log and 1 frog in the pond. 4 and 1 makes 5 altogether. On my 5s frame, I have 4 red counters, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 yellow counter. Altogether, that makes 5. Now it's your turn again. Have a look at the ducks. How many ducks are on the log and how many ducks are in the pond? That's right. All of the ducks are on the log this time, and there are 0 ducks in the pond. Let's see if you can show me that on your 5s frame. Use either the red counters or the yellow counters to fill your 5s frame up and show me. Off you go. Well done. Let's see if we can have a look together. There are 5 ducks on the log and there are 0 ducks in the pond, so I only need to use 1 colour of counter. I'm going to use the yellow counters to show the 5 ducks on the log on my 5s frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There are 5 ducks on the log and 0 ducks in the pond. Altogether, that makes 5. On my 5s frame, there are 5 yellow counters and 0 red counters. Altogether, I have 5. Well done, reception. Great job. Now it's your turn. Have a go at exploring the composition of the number 5 at home. Place a group of teddies or toys on your bed. Put another group of teddies in a different place, such as on the floor. How many teddies are there in each group? And how many teddies do you have altogether? Do you think you could move them about so that you have a different number of teddies on the bed and a different number of teddies on the floor? Or you could use anything in your house. You could use knives and forks, you could use other toys or cars, you could use books. You don't have to do it on your bed, you could do it in your house. You could have some on your sofa and some on the floor, some on the table and some on the chair. See if you can split your group of teddies in different ways. We would love to see a picture of you doing your work again at home. So if mum or dad has a phone that they could take a photograph of or a tablet, then please share your work with us using the email address below and put your name in the subject heading so we can see whose super work it is. Thank you, reception. See you again tomorrow.